The theme of today's project video is prices and decorations. Prices are crazy. 5, 6, 7, I don't know, time slips away. Years ago, I could get a matched pair of diamondback rattlesnake skins for like 35 bucks. For 66 to 68 inch bow, what have you, it would take generally 2 rattlesnake skins because they weren't that long. You can get them that big, but then the skin would be this wide and what have you. But I checked recently, I'm not going to mention any names, 100 bucks, from 35 to 100 in a matter of like handful of years. It's ridiculous. So I went and searched, where can I get rattlesnake skins for a bow? I went to eBay. No longer did I could find LE Enterprises, which was a great place to buy Osage. I'm jumping off to what did a good job, have a set price. Now it's like auction. Here's a piece of Osage. Auction. It's prices are getting difficult. But anyway, back to the skins. I found a place like Doug's Odds and Ends or Don's Odds and Ends. You can find the eBay store, and this is a section of it. Prairie rattlesnake skin. This is just part of it. I put the rest on a bow. About 50 bucks. And check this out. Instead of doing the whole thing, I didn't want to hide this beautiful sinew. So I did it, and this may or may not be the final handle, and I can't put any bands with colors on at the terminuses until I do the final tillering on this bow. So I'm just fighting the urge I want to put the sinew wraps on it right now. I could get away with doing the edge wraps or not, on this, because I'm not going to be grinding away right here to change the weight, to bring it down into the realm of possibilities, because it's super heavy at this point. But from one snake skin, approximately I think $56 with shipping included, enough to do this bow. And plus, check this out. Now most people would take the skin and run it right down the center and then cut all this stuff away, count it as waste, return it to nature, maybe use it for thin strips to wrap, what have you. That would be an idea. Maybe take the scrap, cut it into little strips, and do the wrap on that. Got one snake. Now I'm thinking, because of the pattern, and I didn't take the scales off. I take the scales off. See the difference in looks? I take the scales off with packing tape. I just take a strip of packing tape and just, after it's dried, just kind of pop the scales off. But imagine the stripes on this. And picture this as middle limb wraps. Wouldn't that be cool? And so I could get 8 bows worth of middle limb wraps out of this. Or I could have a bow, and I know it's not symmetrical with the diamonds on the back, but I could actually take this, cut it in half, and I think this would be kind of cool, having a strip here. And on the opposite, I could just flip it so diamonds would be on one side and then the belly stripes would be on the other, running the whole length. I think I would do that rather than having it kind of spin where it's like diamonds on this side and then diamonds on the opposite. I would keep it stripes on one side and diamonds on the other. But that's give you some idea. Now you've got a source of affordable snake skins. Now think of this. Everyone wants to have, I must have rattlesnake on my bow. It's got to be rattlesnake because that's it's rattlesnakey. But what about blue racer or garter snake, which would have been used too? You sinew back your bow and you wait. You wait until that sinew is dry. On this bow, not fully cured, but it's got to wait a while. It was dry. Never put snake skin on a damp, wet sinew-backed bow, or else you're going to get some rot happening here. You need to let that water escape and the bow start actually curing before you put your snakeskin on. Now you might say, putting snakeskin on a bow, that's a technique. I don't know that technique, but never fear. Size your bow, which in this case, sinew back, it's sized. Sinew's held together by glue. Rub some more sinew on it, or hide glue, wherever you're going to stick that snakeskin. A couple times. Let it kind of dry. It'll get tacky. It'll feel dry, but it's not really dry. It'll rehydrate quickly. Put it on a second time. Make sure that you've got enough glue on the side of the wood. See, when I'm doing these bows, I'm not, because of the edge, I'm not just trying to get hide glue on here when I'm sizing it. I put it all over the place because you can sand it off. So there's plenty of glue on the sides. Trim your snakeskin before you dump it in the water. Cut it, take it, roll it up, put it in a mug of water, and let it sit. Now this is not like rawhide, like deer rawhide. The snakeskin will get wet and floppy and get ready to adhere within a matter of like 5-10 minutes. It's quick. Take your floppy snakeskin off. Get your washcloth, the one that your wife allows you to use, that you ruined making bows already, and it's in your craft drawer. Lay it out, put the snake skin that came out of the mug on there, get the excess water out, flip it over, rub some hide glue on it, rub some hide glue on here, and just stick it on. You don't need to wrap it. Snake skin does not need to be wrapped when you put it on. Do you just put it on the top edge, or do you bring it out the side? I bring mine out the side. And in the case of the tips, now this snakeskin, a little bit of trivia, if this bow was fully tillered, if I waited for a couple months, and shot it a while and wanted to put snakeskin on it, I could have continued it all the way around. I've never done that before because I'm not patient enough to wait. But this is okay. Just like this. Once it was dry enough, if it's completely dry, you can either trim the excess over here with a sanding block, 180, 220. Doesn't take 80 grit. You don't want to tear up the edges. Wooden sanding block, trim it that way. And I can also trim rawhide like that with a sanding block. Or else, when it was stuck down but it was still a little damp, just a razor blade. I used a fresh razor blade for that. And that's about it for snakeskin. Again, eBay. Prairie rattlesnake skin. You might want some other skin. They have bull snake and stuff. But to find this guy's store, very well prepared. It's either Don's or Doug's odds and ends. He also has skulls and turkey feet and other assorted sundries. But yeah, that's it. So instead of, darn it, I paid $100 for enough skins to put on one bow. 9 bows if I just use this for middle and wrap and this. Good price. Now on to this. Be fearless, my friends. I have a nice little Osage bow here. A sponge. I simply cut a sponge into a barrel shape. It was kind of hard to use my dull scissors and kind of trim out that center hole. Black paint on a plastic Tupperware lid. Boom, 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 boom. I just went to town. This turned out so nice. I love it. And just for the heck of it, look at that. I've got a diamond shaped one. I haven't put it on a bow yet, but why not? Is this an authentic style from a tribe or a band in the West? Nah. I put my own slant on it. I'm not claiming anything here. This is a jumbo. 48 inches, so, it's in the realm of possibilities, but I put my own slant on it. I'm allowed. If I'm actually making a reproduction of something and I'm claiming this is a fill-in-the-blank bow, then it will be completely accurate, but I'm taking a little license with these. I'm adding my own little feeling on it. Now, as far as selling, currently, the only one that's uncalled for, unclaimed, is this one. And I'm not going to push as hard, because if nobody says I want to buy that one, I'm fine. I've got a cool bow. Now, I was looking at prices of Osage, typical American style longbows, you know, about 66 to 68 inches long, or 64 to 68, what have you. Some are reflex deflex, some are sinew backed. And I'm looking at prices of these things, and you know, there's some sellers out there that are selling bows for well over $1,000. And I'm looking at these and thinking, that's well within my technology. I'm actually chasing a growth ring on a 67-inch Osage American style longbow. I like them. I mean, they don't turn my crank like these. I'm going to say interesting, not odd, creative, offbeat. They're not. They're actual bows. But the typical, like, Osage American style longbow just doesn't. I like them. I like them a lot. They're great bows. But I don't wake up every morning saying I want to make one. It's just not my thing. But I am making one. And then I'm going to make, I've got the wood picked out for the same deal, an American style longbow. You know, 68, 67, whatever. Don't quote me on that. With a narrow, deep handle in black locust. And both of them are going to be sinew back to protect the back. But anyway, please don't ask me to make one. But I've seen them selling for well over $1,000, and I'm thinking, you know, I could do that. I could chase the big bucks within my technology. But aside from the fact they don't really like inspire a great deal of excitement with me, I would like to sell a bow for $1,000, because that's $1,000 in my bank account minus materials and time. But you know, it would cut out a lot of people that would be able to afford them. I certainly couldn't afford a $1,000 bow, and a lot of you, not to be judgmental, you know, you've got other things. Price of gas is going up, price of food, got to pay for your house or apartment or what have you. It would cut out so many people, and I would feel bad. And this is just mine. Nothing against people selling bows for $1,000 or more. More power to you. You're a skilled artisan. But again, that's not my thing. I would actually feel pretty bad if, like, I went from selling maybe 20 bows a year at what I would consider affordable prices to 2 or 3 for what I would consider a lot. What I would pay for an instrument, you know, not a bow. I would go into debt for an instrument. But that's about it. Aside from the Riddle, Red Dragon, or Allring, if you're still out there, or Tightwad Todd, who knows a lot about bows, or any of the other people out there that are watching my videos that are really, really proficient bow makers. I know you're out there. You don't always speak up, but I hear from, not going to mention any names of YouTube channels, but I've got people who watch me. Makes me feel good. They don't say, John, you're a moron. John, you're stupid. John, you're wrong. It's like, you watch my videos. And generally, very positive. But there is a book connected with a YouTube viewer of mine. It's called Land of the Nakoda, the Assiniboine. In this book, it was shown to me last night by a person in Montana, is how they made their bows. And it described the woodwork, you know, which this bow would be probably the closest to it. Then it's like sinew backing. Let me take this to demonstrate it. And this is getting into a mystery, and I want you to solve it. And if you're a bow maker that sinew backs, work with me on this. They would coat the back of the bow with hide glue, made from boiled hooves and tendons and stuff like that. You know, basic stuff. No mystery there. Then they would take a tendon, a full wet tendon, hey, it could be fresh and sticky. If you've ever disassembled an animal, you realize that the parts are sticky. They're gluey. It's like we're all glued together. People and animal people, we're all glued together. And they would take full tendon and join it at the center, go to the tip. Probably a little overlap. It must be a backstrap tendon, because a short bow like this, a backstrap of an elk or a bison, you could reach. Then here's the thing. Here's where it gets murky. Then they would take clay and put a layering of clay on here, and then repeat the process with another group of tendons, point where they feel it's strong enough. Now my question is, why? Why, if you're gluing a series of layers of backstrap tendons on a bow, would you have a layer of clay between them? And then you finish up your last layer of tendons, then another layer of clay, then paint it, and then put glue over that. But the mysterious thing in my mind is, what's up with the clay between the layers? Does it fill the voids? Does it smooth it out so that next one will fit on there tightly? Wouldn't the clay keep the next layer from bonding? Is it dried clay, powdered clay, so then it can absorb the glue? And you see where I'm going with this. Now, in a lot of accounts, books, pictures, drawings, Caitlin's, paintings that show a lot of warriors on horseback hunting buffalo and stuff. Shape of the bows probably are kind of true. Maybe the proportions are a little off, who knows. But when you read accounts, maybe something was lost in translation, but that's a big translation to lose. Sinew, clay, then sinew again. Just saying. It's a book I'm going to get. I found them on eBay. Landed in Nakoda, reasonably priced. For those bow makers out there, especially sinew backers, tightwad, red dragon, throwing this in your court along with all the other secret bow channels out there that might be watching this. Let's figure this out. Let's figure out how to make one of these bows. Actually, very authentic bow. It's a challenge. Anyway, I like it. I don't know if I'm going... The series seems to be black and white and red. The colors on these bands. It looks kind of subdued right now, but you know, the colors bring it out. And that's a trait amongst a lot of us sinew backer bow makers, is we like to add our own being into these things, just like our banjos, which we pimp out, so to speak. Oh, look at that. Used Hondo armrest. I needed some wood on that instead of that chrome. And actual real banjo tuners, and not those ugly guitar tuners that are on there. Well, my friends, I'm going to leave you with that. And a riddle. The riddle of the clay. The riddle of the clay. I was never here.